beaucoup, Mr. Bové. Could I now invite to take the floor my very good friend and the Vice President of the European Parliament, Alejo Vidal-Quadras.
Thank you, Struan. Good morning to you all, Mrs. President. It is a great pleasure, as always, to be here with all of you and with President Rajavi and so distinguished American European guests. We are facing a huge crisis, and I do hope our joint efforts can help the Iranian resistance and the people of Kam Ashraf, who have suffered so much injustice through the years, not only at the hands of the Iranian regime, but also as a result of neglect by our governments in the West. In the European Parliament, we have received and we have read with extreme concern a document from the Iraqi embassy here in Brussels. This document says very clearly that Iraq plans to move the people in Ashraf by force and to disperse them throughout Iraq. There is no doubt of the evil intentions of Prime Minister Maliki. We hear of assurances given to United Nations and United States officials by the Iraqi government, which claims that Ashraf residents will be properly treated in any new location to which they will be moved. They also promise that UN observers will be entitled to carry out regular inspections. However, we know that any such promises from the Iraqi government are totally worthless. A few hours prior to the start of shooting in April 2011, when 36 people were brutally murdered, the residents of Ashraf received a message via the US Embassy from the Iraqi Prime Minister assuring them that there would be no violence. And the result was the film we have just watched in horror. There is therefore no doubt that when Ashraf residents come to be dispersed in small groups, Iraqi forces and the Iranian Quds force will torture and assassinate them without the world being informed. Occasionally, as it has been reminded this morning, Iraq's right of sovereignty is used for justifying the camp closure deadline, the end of this year. This is a clear misuse of the right and defies the principle of responsibility to protect. Right of sovereignty can never be used to justify the systematic violation of human rights. I remember that Sudan was indeed a sovereign country. And when Christians were massacred in the south of Sudan, this sovereignty was divided in two, and a new state was born. So, that was a clear proof that sovereignty can never be more important than human rights and human freedom. The same happened in Libya when European and American forces intervened to stop grave violations of human rights by Gaddafi's regime, and now economic sanctions on Assad's regime in Syria on the same basis. We should ask our European governments to be consistent. A minimum of consistency should be requested in the case of Ashraf. If Iraq were sincerely interested in the evacuation of the Ashraf residents and their departure from Iraq, it could have cooperated with the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees and with the European Union. But Prime Minister Maliki has clearly shown that he follows the orders of the Iranian regime that seeks the annihilation of the Ashraf residents.